All three of these devices claim to have AI that could do stuff for you, but only one actually works. I've been using the new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with its new screen automation feature. And with the Gemini built into the phone, it can actually control apps like DoorDash, Starbucks, and Uber, and it really feels like the first time an AI assistant on your phone can actually do the things for you. So I'm going to put the Galaxy S26 Ultra head-to-head in some of these tasks, comparing it to the iPhone using the ChatGPT app, and yes, just for kicks, we'll throw in a third device, the Rabbit R1, and watch it fail. This feature is in beta on the S26 Ultra, but if you go to the settings on your phone and then search for screen automation, you'll see here that it has special access, and down at the bottom, you'll see it's the Google app that's actually using it. It's Gemini behind the scenes. I've chosen to always allow, and you can see the three apps that are now available: Starbucks, DoorDash, and Uber. So let's test this out. Now, in order to put it head-to-head against the iPhone, there's really only one app that comes close, which is the GPT app. If you were to ask the voice assistant, order a grande latte from Starbucks, all the iPhone is going to do is show you Starbucks locations in Maps. I can even try saying, using ChatGPT, order a grande vanilla latte from Starbucks, and you'll see ChatGPT gives us that answer. But if we go to the ChatGPT app, there are actually many connectors under this plus icon, and you can attach apps like DoorDash, Instacart, and more. We'll do the DoorDash test in a moment because that actually works across all three of the devices. Well, works. But with this screen automation feature on the S26 Ultra, I can invoke Gemini with a side button and then say, order a grande iced flat white from Starbucks with 3 stevia and pick up at the Thanodisasa and I-4 location. And once it recognizes that I'm asking with one of the apps it can actually control, you'll see the new task automation down here at the bottom. You'll see it's now working this task, and you can just leave it going in the background, but you can also tap View Progress, and you're actually going to see it taking action in the Starbucks app. Now, at any point, I can stop the task, and I can even take control of the app myself, but as you can see, the phone is actually using the Starbucks app by itself, searching for the drink, and even customizations like removing meat from a sandwich or adding a specific sweetener. Gemini in the background on the S26 can actually search for and do the menu options. This is the kind of agentic task you might have seen in an AI web browser on your computer, but this is happening on a phone, and it's really the first time I've seen anything like it. And because I asked for multiple stevia, you can see it even navigated to the sweetener packet option. It sees the option that I asked for, and it just added the stevia to the drink. This is wild. It can even adjust the quantity, and let's say I was driving or I was just doing something else working, my phone could be doing this in the background. Now, while it finishes up my order, let's try the Rabbit R1 doing something it supposedly can do, which is order something from DoorDash. Order butter chicken from Minerva for delivery through DoorDash. Now, I just updated my Rabbit R1 to the latest version and had quite a time trying to log back into my DoorDash account, and I'll just leave this running in the background, but as you will see, it cannot do
DoorDash delivery.
And not to give spoilers, but I have tried this multiple times with the latest update for the Rabbit R1 that I just used, and I still have not gotten it to work. So we'll just have that running in the background. You'll see the S26 Ultra actually finish the task, and with Starbucks, as you'll see with DoorDash and Uber as well, it goes all the way to the final step where it's ready for checkout. And here you can see it added it for pickup at the location I specified with the right modifications, and I'm ready to check out. Now the S26 Ultra, I can also have it do that task in the background. So I can say something,
attempting to load the DoorDash page for Minerva Restaurant.
Now I can also ask the S26 Ultra for something like, order a grande vanilla latte for pickup at Starbucks at the I-4 and Thanodisasa exit. Now this time while it's working on the task, I can continue to use my phone like normal, and I'll get a notification when the task is ready. You'll also see the Starbucks icon is kind of that glowing, meaning the phone is actually working that app. Then I can go into something like the YouTube app, maybe watch a video or do something else on my phone, and it's doing that in the background. And then I'll get a notification when that task is over. You'll see here the task is in progress. I can always jump in to view the progress or stop the task. Really cool that it can do it in the background. And now that the task is done, I can open the Starbucks app from the notification, and there it is in my cart. Now let's try a DoorDash experiment. I'm using the ChatGPT app here with the DoorDash extension, and I'll ask the iPhone, order butter chicken from Minerva Restaurant for delivery. I'll send that using the ChatGPT DoorDash connection, and as you can see, it only supports grocery delivery, even though it's DoorDash in the ChatGPT app. So let's see how the S26 Ultra does. Order butter chicken from Minerva for delivery through DoorDash. And now it's using the DoorDash app in the background. You see the little Gemini symbol working there. And let's go in to view the progress. And here we can actually see Gemini using the DoorDash app. It actually found the restaurant already, found the dish.
What spice level? Spicy, mild, medium, extra spicy. And size, 16 ounces, 24 ounces, 32 ounces. would you like for your butter chicken?
Medium, 24 ounces. And you can see it will ask follow-up questions when it needs clarification, like the size or spice level. You can see it's taking the answers I gave it, choosing the spice and size, and then we can open DoorDash and you'll see it's right at the screen ready for me to check out. Now, unfortunately, it can't finish the entire process and actually click place order. That is a good security feature, but really cool that it could do that even with complex additions, asking follow-up questions, all built in with Gemini on the phone. Now let's try a third test, Uber. There is an Uber connection in the ChatGPT app on iPhone, and also it works here in the S26. Get me an Uber to the airport.
Which airport would you like to go to?
A great follow-up question. Which airport would you like to go to? Tampa Airport.
I'm on it.
And we can view the progress here. While it's working on that, ChatGPT on the iPhone is also asking the same question.
I have set your destination to Tampa International Airport. Please select your preferred ride option and confirm the booking.
For some reason, the ChatGPT needs my address. Maybe it can't see it in the Uber app. But once I give it my address, it is working here in the ChatGPT app. I opened Uber here on the S26 Ultra, and that task brought me all the way to choosing my ride, and then I can check out and actually hail the Uber. So the ChatGPT app with Uber integration got a little closer to the S26 Ultra. Does seem like the S26 is a little faster, and it already knew my home location because of that connection to the Uber app. Now, like I mentioned, that's the only 3 apps this will work with screen automations on the S26 Ultra: Starbucks, DoorDash, and Uber. But that is pretty cool. If you land somewhere in a city, you can use the assistant, say, "Give me an Uber to my hotel." It might ask follow-up for which hotel is it, but your phone can just do it for you while you're walking to baggage claim. And it seems like Gemini here on the S26 Ultra can deal with even longer running and more complex tasks all at once. Let me try one more from Starbucks and say, order a grande iced flat white with blonde espresso for pickup at the Thanodisasa and I-4 exit, and a grande vanilla latte at the same location.
I'm on it.
Now the Rabbit R1, it's given up. It says you need to get past the verification and it's just not going to do anything, so we'll leave Rabbit alone for now. We'll view the progress of the Starbucks task where it has to add multiple items now to my cart, but while it does that, if we go back to ChatGPT here on the iPhone, there are multiple integrations which can actually be useful. One that I've found works with ChatGPT here and is not an option with Gemini on the S26 yet is Instacart. With this, I can actually give it multiple items from a destination and it can add it to my Instacart cart. So I can say things like add espresso chameleon cold brew, organic half and half, and Fronen ice cream, vanilla flavored, to my Instacart cart for Sprouts. Now I'm going to send that request to ChatGPT. Gemini has found the blonde espresso option here in the Starbucks app, and we can see the S26 already has the task done. If I open Starbucks, you see it did it perfectly. I have the vanilla latte here grande, the iced flat white with espresso, picking up at the right location. This just seems wild to me. Then here on the iPhone, that Instacart integration does work pretty well. It added these things to my cart and already brought me to the checkout screen. All I have to do is pay, and all the items I requested are there. If I go to the Instacart app directly, I'll go to my Sprouts cart, and it did in fact get the chameleon cold brew. It got half and half. Didn't get the ice cream right, but still, the fact that it can add all those items to my Instacart to the specific store that I specified that quickly is a pretty nice integration. So while the ChatGPT app on iPhone can't really order DoorDash, nor can it work with Starbucks, the Instacart integration is pretty good, and some of the other integrations, especially like for Spotify and Apple Music, actually work pretty well. I did an entire video showing off some of the best apps for ChatGPT built into iPhone, and you can watch it at the QR code over here, or I'll link that video above. But when it comes to actual agentic features on a smartphone, the Galaxy S26 Ultra with Gemini is really impressive. Now, ideally, more apps will be added here. If they can add Instacart, maybe OpenTable, this can become really powerful for doing multiple tasks, even long-running tasks and complex parsing my request. I think making Gemini on the S26 Ultra, and when this feature comes to Pixel phones, one of the most useful AIs. Now, when it comes to Starbucks, I do feel obligated to mention, because I do so many shortcuts on this channel, there is an ability to add a special order to a shortcut and literally be one tap away from placing that order. If you search for the Starbucks app in shortcuts, you can then find an order, open order, or order ahead, and you can actually choose one of your orders from Starbucks, like one of your common combos, like an iced flat white and the Italian sausage egg bites. You can even choose a store location in the action here in Starbucks. That's an option I usually go to. And you can even expand this to use rewards or show and run, and I can place this order instantly by hitting the shortcut, running this from a widget, or asking the voice assistant to do that as well. DoorDash also has some actions. You could do things like go to orders, go to search, but that just opens the app. The Starbucks action can literally just do stuff in the background when you run that shortcut. Now, this is nowhere near the level of automation that the S26 can do, actually parsing your request, doing complex orders with adjustments all in one go. But just did want to mention, if you're on iPhone, you can use shortcuts for Starbucks. I've done a lot of videos on AI agents. I've talked about Perplexity Comet, the AI browser, ChatGPT Atlas, and even Claude Cowork. I'll link that video above too. But having it on a phone feels even more powerful. Being able to just use the apps, you don't have to look at it, it can run in the background. The S26 Ultra, I feel like, takes AI control to the next level. And by the way, this is my first time using a Samsung Galaxy phone pretty much ever. I think the last Samsung phone I actually used was like this flip phone. I used like HTC Heroes in early Android days, but not a new Galaxy. It is pretty nice, takes some getting used to. Obviously, it's not in the Apple ecosystem, but one feature that I really wish iPhone had, Galaxy phones literally have clipboard history. If you've been copy and pasting stuff right here above the keyboard, you can just see your clipboard history right here, choose one of the things, and puts it on your clipboard. That needs to come to iPhone ASAP. I want clipboard history so much over here. You can also pin certain things and you can keep them available. Maybe it's like a link to something. Come on, clipboard history, total win. And there's some cool little features like on your app pages, if you have some gaps randomly, you can actually just tap the three dots up here and tap clean up pages. This way you don't have any gaps amongst all your apps. That's pretty cool. But I just wanted to share that wild screen automation feature on the S26 Ultra. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it and if new apps get adopted, so let me know if you see any, drop down in the comments, or if you have any questions about AI on the S26 Ultra or iPhone and automation, let me know down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And if you're into automation, I do videos on shortcuts on the iPhone and Mac all the time. I'll link my last video here, and I have a playlist with 60 plus videos. That'll be down in the video description as well. And if you're interested in Claude Cowork and automating things there, I did a whole video. I'll link it above here. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.